What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have an amazing video for everyone today. We have a lot of big news and some great setups to go over. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below. We'll probably cover them in tomorrow's video. Tom, I know that we have a lot of big catalysts happening in the market right now. What happened in the market today?
Yeah, a lot of stocks are actually moving pretty drastically today. We actually have GameStop up 8% today. They were leading some Wall Street bets, sentiment charts, and also the mentions on there have been pretty drastic lately. So GameStop had a big pop up 8%, like I said. If you go look at the daily chart for GameStop, they've actually been on a pretty nice uptrend lately after bouncing off that $200 support. And I'll tell you, they're nearing this $250 resistance. And if they're able to break this with some good momentum, maybe look for another continuation tomorrow. You know, if it ends up breaking this resistance, I could see another big runner. And as it's kind of getting more popular on Wall Street bets, there's obviously going to be a lot more traders looking at GameStop. So hopefully we see some pretty good movement over the next few days. And we also saw ASTR pop up today pretty drastically as well. But it seems like GameStop was the most hyped up stock today.
Exactly. So with that being said, Tom, what are like the most important levels you are watching for GameStop?
Yeah, with GameStop, $250 even is going to be huge, guys. If we look at the 180-day 4-hour chart, you can see how we kind of hit right around $250 the other day and then had a huge volatile candle. So definitely watch out for it. I feel like if we're able to break out of here pretty drastically, it'll make for a pretty nice breakout tomorrow. I feel like there's also a pretty big support down here, right around $230. So if you're looking for a support, it seems like 230 is a pretty nice one. But the main thing I'm going to be watching is for that break of resistance tomorrow.
Sounds great. What else do we have going on?
Yeah, Zoom actually had some crazy earnings today in after hours, Mike. And man, this stock has been getting beaten down for the past few months, just continues to break and make new lows. But they had great earnings, came right back to the upside today in after hours. And we've been seeing lots of stocks turn around with their earnings. And I really hope that Zoom continues on this nice uptrend that they set here in after hours. They came in with a nice EPS beat. They had a 1.11 per share EPS versus an estimate of 1.09. And this is actually up 12% year over year, which is great. And they also reported quarterly sales of 1.05 billion, beating the estimate of 1.02 billion, but this is also up 35.2% year over year. So it seems like their growth year over year has been amazing. I know that they had a bad outlook on their last earnings report, but it's awesome to see this one going well. And I'm just really glad to see Zoom turning around.
Exactly. So like you said, year over year, their numbers are pretty good. Quarter over quarter, it's not bad. I would say the main thing is that their revenue is up, and then the number of their customers that are paying more than $100,000 is actually up 94% year over year. So honestly, I'm very glad to see Zoom up. They have been getting destroyed over the past couple months, like Tom said. In my opinion, they're a solid long-term company to have in your portfolio. I feel like the world has dramatically changed over the past 2 years, and I feel like Zoom especially is one of the stocks that is or one of the companies that is like really exploded with everything that happened over the past 2 years.
Yeah, definitely. And if we go look at that max daily chart, you can see that like whenever COVID was going rampant in the beginning, Zoom was going crazy to the upside. So I wasn't too surprised to see it consolidate a little bit. But man, I really hope we get back up here. And there's actually a nice gap to fill on the daily chart right between 300 and it looks like $330. So hopefully we can get back up to 300 and possibly start to fill that gap. I feel like we might do it over the next few months.
There we go. And then what else do we have happening?
You know, GM had a pretty good partnership today. It says they're actually taking a stake in an electric boat startup called Pure Watercraft. And the cool thing about Pure Watercraft is that they actually use lithium ion batteries, and they're going to be replacing outboard motors that generally have 40 to 50 horsepower. So that's pretty good. You know, I know a lot of pontoon boats and different stuff like that run on outboard engines, as well as just multiple different type of small watercraft. So that's awesome for GM. And they're just getting so much into the electrification sector, or just you could say the electric sector. I know that there's been multiple articles out saying that they went all in on electrification this year. And it looks like they're just continuing to keep up with their promises with this partnership here.
There we go. Love to see it. And then, Tom, you can't forget about the big news today with the Fed.
Yeah, definitely. We can't forget about Powell. It seems like Powell is actually going to be reinstated for another term, which is awesome to hear. CNBC reports that stocks rose today after President Biden picked Jerome Powell to continue to lead the Federal Reserve over Fed Governor Lael Brainerd. And I know that Powell's renomination comes as inflation has exceeded expectations in recent months, leading the Fed to walk back some of its predictions that the rise in prices that accompanied the reopening of the economy would be transitory. I know we heard that word a lot, and the Fed, they've kind of had to walk back that statement a little bit. And some critics have said that the Fed has been waiting too long to tighten their monetary policy. So it was very interesting. Stocks rose early on in the morning. And as we can see, the SPY's actually selling off here in after hours. But in the end, I'm kind of glad to see Powell staying, Mike. I think it's pretty cool to see. And actually, Lael, who was the other consideration, is going to be the vice president. So that's a pretty cool thing to see. They're both going to be working together, and hopefully the economy keeps going the way it has been.
You know it. So stocks were pretty mixed though. Like I know, like in the beginning of the day, the S&P 500 was really exploding to the upside, but it seems like out of nowhere, it just sold off pretty hard.
Yeah, it did. And some sectors that took some pretty big drops were the tech sector. We saw Nvidia early on this morning. It was running up as Powell was reinstated. It seemed like the market had a pretty big jump. And then, like you said, in the middle of the day, a lot of negative volume came in. I don't know what was happening here. It seems like a lot of big tech stocks like Nvidia, AMD, Tesla even had a pretty shaky day. So there's just a lot of stocks that ended up pulling back in the middle to the end of the day. Even Amazon had a pretty bad day. So I would say just be pretty careful of that. The SPY had a pretty bad close here.
You know it. All right, well, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have Microsoft to the downside.
Yeah, kind of leading the tech stocks down here. Go ahead and make Microsoft fall below 339 even, and they are starting to break some pretty key supports and technical levels.
Sounds good. With the next one, we have BLNK to the downside.
Yeah, go ahead and make them fall below 37.50.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Walmart, but this one is to the upside.
Man, this hybrid bot have called out an amazing play on Walmart today. Go ahead and make them break out above 145.50 tomorrow.
You know what? Let's showcase that hybrid bot really quickly. So the bot called out the Walmart 143 calls at $138 each, ran all the way up to $263 each. It was a pretty awesome call out by the bot. It ran for like 90% in a couple hours. So if you want to try this bot out, it calls out daily options day trades. We also have swing trades included in the program. It'll be that first link in the description and the comments down below. Like I said, you have full access to this bot. We also have swing trades and access to an amazing community and a bunch of other bots. So definitely check it out. You can cancel it anytime, and we have a coupon running. Again, it'll be that first link in the description and the comments down below. But back to these momentum plays really quickly. We are watching Walmart to the upside, but only if it breaks above the level Tom listed. Then we are watching Microsoft and then BLNK for potential day trades to the downside, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. But I also want to shout out our member of the day today, which is Lil Paul 28. So huge shout out, Lil Paul. Thanks for being a great member of the Discord. Tom and I definitely appreciate having you in the Discord. So thank you so much to you. Huge shout out to you. And let's get right into these comments from the previous video. With the first comment, we have Raymond saying, "Hey Mike and Tom, good video today. I'd like to know your take on the falling twins, which are PayPal and Pinterest. Do they still have room to fall for me to swing trade a short on them?" So Tom, what do you think?
Personally, I don't think I would swing trade a short on PayPal at least. Let's go check out Pinterest. Pinterest just broke this support, so maybe they could be a little bit of a swing. But personally, I feel like that they've both been falling down pretty drastically over the past few months, and I feel like it could have been good to swing them over the past few months, like I said. But for right now, I kind of feel like it might be time to start maybe grabbing some shares and at least starting to look at maybe a turnaround. I know PayPal is a pretty big company and they've been falling off pretty drastically, and I wouldn't think that they fall too much more. I see a huge support at 175, so maybe you can swing it down to that, but I feel like maybe the support at 180 might end up holding up like we had a little bit of a bounce today.
Yeah, I mean, I would rate the setup like a 5 out of 10, to be honest. It's just like When you look at that daily chart of PayPal over like the past, the past month, that thing fell from 270 to like 184. And like PayPal is a pretty big company too. It's like, I don't know. It's not like I wouldn't trade it, but in my opinion, it's just like a total coin flip.
Yeah, I think so too. And one good way that you could play this is instead of like swinging it for like a super like long-term swing or anything, you could just maybe play a break of this support. If we fall below 184, you might be able to play it down to 180 pretty safely if you wanted to try something like that.
True. All right. And then like with Pinterest, did you have like any other levels or anything like that?
Yeah, let's go look at the max daily. I know Pinterest is getting down to some of those bigger supports. I'm seeing one down here like right around $40 even. I know that it tried to break that for a while and failed down here. So I'm definitely going to be eyeing up $40. I will say though, this one has had a pretty bad break of support lately. I feel like we might be able to come down to 40 on this one.
There we go. With the next comment, we have us saying, "Hey Mike and Tom, what would you think about the Meta ETF?" So I like it. Some of the biggest holdings in META are Nvidia, Roblox, and Microsoft. Of course, there's some solid companies. Just one thing to keep in mind is like I know that Nvidia is the like the heaviest weighted stock within the Meta ETF, sitting right around like 10.7%. And if we do see like a big pullback on Nvidia, definitely expect a drawdown with the Meta ETF. So I like it, but it's definitely a longer term play.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, obviously, I feel like over the next couple of years, this metaverse stuff is going to get crazy. I feel like that we're going to see some crazy movements with stocks as well as just some crazy, innovational news come out in general. Like, this is going to be a crazy thing. I think once it actually starts becoming implemented. So definitely look at it. I think I like it for the long term, but personally, I think it just started to pull back. And looking at Nvidia, I think you're right. Like if this starts to come down, obviously Meta is going to get pulled down with it being the highest weighting.
You know it. So, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
I feel like this movement with General Motors has been very interesting lately. I feel like they could end up having a pretty nice pop tomorrow. They're right around that all-time high. So if they're able to break 65.20, who knows? Maybe they'll have a pretty nice run that will be an all-time high. Well, I believe it will be. Hang on, let me go look at the max weekly. It won't be an all-time high, but it'll be an all-time high of like the past 10 years. So looking at it, I think it looks like a pretty nice play. They had some good news with pure watercraft and everything. So I think GM's going to be nice. I was also eyeing up the banks today. Whenever Powell got reinstated, the banks did pretty well. They ended up having a pretty nice reversal back to the upside. So I think I'm going to start looking at banks a little bit harder over the next week with Powell coming or with Powell staying around. I think that'll end up helping the banks out a little bit. And I know the banks have been running up over the past year pretty well and as they're on their own. So hopefully Powell keeps it going the way he has been.
There we go. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you are an options trader, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below. Daily option swing trades, day trades, access to a ton of bots, and access to a great community. Definitely check it out. We have a coupon running. You can cancel at any time. If you like our content, definitely subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.